The referee in this match is Mr. Kevin R.L.F.C. And Oldham will be running from left to right. The crowd are setting up a roar. It's a decent sort of a crowd for such a cold night too. And Mr. R.L.F.C. gets them underway. And here we go, the kick-off. Kicked off there by the halfback Ray Ashton. Mal Meninga first touch. And brings the ball out to the quarter where he's heavily tackled. Just gets to his feet. There's a lot of this mauling stuff in the English play the balls. And now the referees allowed that. There was, as you saw, a blatant push. And Lamb was pushed out of the way. And now we've got the Oldham side in possession inside the Australian quarter. Benny Elias tackling there. Terry Flanagan getting to his feet. The opening penalty of the match. Let's hope we don't see a procession of these. This is the only way any of these English club sides are going to beat Australia. Let me say it now emphatically. It is with the great assistance of the referees. And David Hobbs is the man. He's a giant of a fellow around the corner style, but not all that far around the corner. Comes in off a fairly straight, pokes it hard, it's out over the stand, right out of the ground, and that's Oldham leading 2-0 over Australia. Okay, Mal Meninga going to kick off now. Driven it deep, will go into the end goal area. Nicely half volleyed there by the fullback Jeff Edwards. He brings it out to the quarter line. Darley's over the top there, number 8. There's Davison in for the tackle too. Some solid defence now. The referee, well, there's a bit of a fracas starting, pushing and shoving at the moment. The referee was quick to penalise Australia there. And this will be this is starting even worse than the other games we've seen, because this referee patently is going to be very conscious of the Australian team throughout. Now he's calling a player over, but somebody's reluctant to go. It looks like it's Stephen Folkes. Benny Elias there having it to say to the referee, being brushed aside. They'll earn this game, this Australian side. They will earn this game. That's an awful kick off the side of the foot. It's a gain of only about 12 metres. And here they come up now with possession from the tap restart. Terry Flanagan. Oh, he's gone for another penalty. He's got him inside the 10 this time, so he's just doubled up on inside the 5 and inside the 10. Horrendous performance in the opening couple of minutes from this referee. A theatrical fool. He'll keep them in range of the Australian goal line throughout the game for penalty kicks at goal. That's what the intention obviously is. Moving it out along the line to Ashton, out there to Warneke. Warneke gets it back on the inside. It's a good strong run too from Mick Worrell, who's a big-time player. He's played representative football. Flanagan on to Bruiser Clark. Bruiser gets a bit of a workout from some of his former Sydney teammates. Tackled 10 metres short of the quarter. Gets up smiling as he always does. Warneke away out there to Hobbs. Hobbs tackled by 2 defenders. Davidson was one and Bella was the other. Flanagan got a pass back on the inside to Ashton. Ashton goes on a scamper of about 4 metres, but the gap closed very smartly. Was good defence there from young Daly. Out they go on the left-hand side. Moving it out wide. Warneke goes to the kick through. Belcher's going back for it. It'll go into the end goal area. Belcher feels the ball. He falls as he feels it, and he's pushed down just about half a metre out from the quarter line, from the goal line. Now Dale Shearer comes away with a bit of a sideways sprint. Getting plenty of work done on him. These forwards in the Oldham side have been steamed up for a big performance. Daly needs to stand deeper and come on the burst a little more. The referee's going to lose control unless he gets firm grasp of it. He'll have an incident before he knows where he is. So now he's going to theatrically, and I emphasise this referee is a theatrical man. He's very slow and ponderous and deliberate with all his movements for best effect, you understand. Mr. Kevin R.L.F.C logged the name away. There's the first penalty of the match, all done with theatrical movements of the hands. First penalty to the Australian side. Meninga gets a kick away. It's not a great one. Takes it out to the quarter. Fairly windless conditions here. Just a little flutter of the flags on top of the goalposts. Martin Bella coming through the middle of the ruck. And, of course, Graham Hughes working sideline, and we've seen some pretty horrendous refereeing in the early part of this match, Graham.
Unbelievable start by the referee. As you picked it, this game really could get away from him. All this pushing and shoving is going to definitely lead to something. It started off in the official duties. I watched Bruiser Clark walk out on the field. He had a football under his arm. He threw it at one of the Australians while the anthem was being played. So that says it all. There's got to be a brawl very, very shortly.
OK, Meninga gets the kick away. It's going to go straight to the fullback, Edwards, who drops the football under no pressure whatsoever. He might have had a quick look there at Michael O'Connor coming through, and I think he had the sound of footsteps. Australians will know what I meant by that. Now, let's see whether we can get a scrum win in an adjacent position here. It's young Alexander defeated. The scrum going down just outside the quarter. It's in and out the Australian side. Alexander works the blind side. Gets it away to Michael O'Connor, who goes very close to getting through the defence there. Gets a bit of a workout now. The brawl started. Martin Bella's in there, pumping punches into number 11, David Hobbs, in one fracas. There's another one on the ground, and I do cast my mind back to 1959 on the kangaroo trip that I had, and we had a brawl here about the same dimensions as that one. So there's two players going to go from the field for sin binning. How many's he got off? He's got 4 off. He keeps pointing to players. Now, let's just get the numbers right. Let's just get the numbers right. We've got Martin Bella. And he's also got, looks like Paul Sherman, the wing three-quarter. Has he got Stephen Folkes as well? He's got Stephen Folkes as well. And who else is there? So that's 2 Australians and 1 Englishman off at the moment. We've only had 9 minutes of play. The penalty, however, still goes to Oldham. Now, Benny Elias is going to grow up tonight as a captain of an Australian touring side. He's going to be under enormous pressure to keep his team under control and keep them in this game. Mal Meninga having a fair bit to say to Mr. Arlett. Now the penalty kick, a goal will be taken. Correction for touch. Now, we've only got 10 players on there, have we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Mark Belcher. I thought for one terrifying moment he'd given... Now, there's number 12. Now, this is the most frightful performance by this referee. It's taken him 2 minutes to work out who he was going to send off from the other side. So now there's 4 off. And the last player to get the walking ticket was Mick Worrell. Now, conceivably, he comes a minute later than the other 3 because it took him that long to get him off. Flanagan goes straight and hard. He's hit hard too. There was Les Davidson coming in with a terrific shoulder charge there. On the burst comes David Hobbs straight through the ruck, but he's met by 3 defenders. Langmack was 1. Now, I believe he's lost the ball on the tackle. Benny Elias came up with it. The referee ruled it was a knock-on and not stolen. Xander with Australia with a 4-man scrum. And he's made a joke of the game already, really. Flanagan's got to get his head down here. They shouldn't try to push and shove in these situations. Very unbalanced situation. Oh. It's in. And it's out against the feet. Edwards, the fullback, chimes in up the blind side, gets a strong work out. The crowd respond to that. Through the middle of the ruck comes young Raper, Stuart Raper. Flanagan working at dummy half, gets it away to Bruiser Clark, and Clark goes hard and straight, but he's belted hard to the ground, about 11 metres up from the quarter line. Australia's in. Flanagan. Right through the middle, a good diagonal run. He's picked off well by Belcher on the quarter line. He couldn't straighten himself up, went sideways. Warnocky at dummy half, throws the dummy, goes up the blind side, makes a good break. And he's tackled now about 15 metres out from the Australian line. There's the little kick through being put in. Belcher's going to hasten this over the dead ball line. And it'll be a line drop out to restart play. That was David Topless that put the kick in there. I had Warneke doing that one. The number was just obscured for the moment. Commentary position directly opposite the stand here, where the old stand used to be. Meninga gets it high in the air. Let's see what this fella can catch it. He does on this occasion. That's Edwards, fullback. He comes with no hanging back on the run. Very short steps he takes, comes in strong to take the tackle. Through the middle of the ruck, and right through the middle of the ruck goes David Hobbs. The Australian defence stretched to the limit there. Phil Daly was the last man to get to him. Up the blind side comes Flanagan, the dummy half. He does a little weave, a bit of a sidestep. Now we've got a player down injured at the moment. The play goes on. Out to Ashton. Ashton there on to Clark. Clark trying to belt his way through this Australian defence, not getting anywhere. We've had about 15 minutes of play. Back on the inside there comes number 4, Gary Warneke, and he was hit hard with a shoulder check. The man that knocked him over was Les Davidson. The drop at goal is unsuccessful. Way to the right. The crowd thought it was a goal. No, it's not so. It'll be a line dropped, a quarter line drop out to restart. Still a player down injured at the moment. And they get him to his feet. Is he going to need attention off the field? No, it looks like he's discarded the stretcher and he's going to proceed on, or at least give it a trial for a minute. It is Hobbs. He's a large man and he's hobbling at the moment. Elias onto Daly. Daly about 5 metres through the ruck there, just gets beyond the quarter line. Then he throws a dummy and goes from dummy half. That's good stuff. Got a bad pass away. It's going to be fielded by the right wing three-quarter there for Oldham. No, it wasn't there. It was Neil Clausen who came up with it, not the winger. So Oldham back in possession. That was a very loose pass from Benny Elias. Flanagan. A long cutout pass out there to Topless. Topless has got a pass away that's gone behind support. It's been picked up out there by number 2, Dale Shearer. Gone for the kick ahead. There's a kick and chase on now. Number 3 gets it and kicks it. It's dead over the dead ball line. That was Des Foy, the centre. And he was able to get the ball back over the dead ball line. So it'll be a line drop out to restart. The line drop out. Graham Hughes, you've got a report there on a replacement.
Hobbs has moved from the field, and the man out there is Colin Hawkyard for Oldham in 14.
So Hobbs off and number 14 on. Colin Hawkyard. Australia now with Davidson onto Alexander. Onto Davidson again, and he's pouring his way through the middle of the ruck, but gets it away there nicely. Support player was Shearer coming on the inside. They're only about 10 metres out. Is this the moment for Australia to start to put Oldham under pressure? Alexander claps on the acceleration, got it to Lamb. Lamb goes through the gap, but he's very well tackled in a ball and all tackle there by number 3, and that was of course Des Foy, the centre. Australia in a very strong attacking position now, only metres out, and Oldham just feeling the pinch a little bit. Got to take their chances. Away to Elias. Elias got a pass away, and again it's gone to ground, and Oldham have come up with it. So Benny Elias not doing his own, shall we say, chances all that much good in the last couple of minutes. There's a ball being dropped by Oldham. I think we've got another player down mine. Langmack limping. He's to his feet and okay, but we've got a trainer on at the moment. Langmack limping very heavily, but he can't really do much about it. This scrum is critical to Australia. They've got to try to maintain position here at the Oldham end of the field, away from that goal-kicking propensity with the refereeing the way it's been. 5-1 the penalties against Australia. Well, he'll penalise Australia if they don't straighten the scrum up. Flanagan doesn't believe in getting his head into scrums, the Oldham hooker. And now the penalty's gone, 6-1. That really was a bit foolhardy, though, by Benny Elias and his front row. They had the opportunity to straighten that up. They don't want to give this bloke any opportunity to penalise it. Yes, a kick over the sideline, and that gun's gone out in the street into the backyard behind too. 2-0 in favour of the Oldham team. Now, Bruiser Clark runs straight into trouble. The trouble was Daly, but he managed to get a pass away to Hawkyard. And Hawkyard was hit hard on the quarter line. Benny Elias was the defender. Up to his feet is Stuart Raper. They're working a switch across the ruck here. It's a terrible pass. It's gone to ground. Have Australia come up with it? No. A bit of a wrestle going on here. And I think we've got 4 sin bin players all coming back on the field. Now, one of those players, the last one to go off, who I think was Paul Sherman, should be out a minute later than the other 3 because it took the referee that long to make up his mind who was the 4th one to go. Differential penalty to Australia from this scrum. Now, they're just not keeping their cool here, Australia. They've got to take the odds to these opportunities when they're given the chance of getting into Oldham territory. I think it takes the kick for touch. That's 2 balls out in the line. I hope the Oldham club have got plenty of footballs in there. 3 have been kicked out of the ground. Yes, Graham, what's doing down there?
Rex, this is another trick just like St Helens from last Sunday. David Hobbs, who was replaced by Hawkyard, they've had his knees strapped and they've tried to loosen him up, warm him back up on the sideline once again. I just don't know what sort of rules we play to, if there is in fact any international rules at all.
Well, evidently there aren't. They're certainly not being observed. Anyway, Australia in possession on the second tackle, about 10 metres out from the Oldham goal line. Benny Elias, away to Alexander. Long cut-out pass to Lamb. Lamb straightens, tries to go through. He can't. There's good defence coming in there from Ray Ashton, the little halfback. Elias on to Martin Bella. And he was able to stream his way through. It's a penalty again to Australia. This will give them the opportunity perhaps to equalise that score. Yes, Benny Elias is taking that option. He'd be very foolish to avoid doing that. Michael O'Connor will be taking the kick. And I noticed the sandboy tonight is that Peter Sterling out there all rugged up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we've got Michael O'Connor only about 15 metres out from the line. He's only about 5 metres off centre. The score is 2-0 in Oldham's favour, and this can level the business up. We've had 19 minutes of play. O'Connor. And that's it. So after 19 minutes of play, Australia draw level with the Oldham side. It's 2-all. Play for Oldham. He's the little halfback, chunky little figure. Pulled off one good little run so far. He's driven it low and hard. It will go to Belcher. Stops it with a foot in the conventional fashion. Tries to run around Ashton. Does very nearly do that. Gets to the quarter line. Got quite exceptional paces, Belcher. Through the middle of the ruck. Plenty of support play there coming in from the Australian players, but the pass not going away. Stephen Folks is the man who had that run. Midway between the quarter and the halfway line, Australia's end. Should kick for position. There it goes. It's going to go downfield. It'll go to Edwards on the full. Not a great kick. He runs it up well, runs into some strong defence. Meninga comes in and really hits him hard, but the tackle there of Chris Mortimer was no slouch either, let me tell you. The runaround move being put on there by Paul Sherman. The right wing three-quarter. Flanagan at dummy half. Out there to Warnocky, but he was dropped over straight away. The tackling coming in hard. Clawson decked there with a very neat tackle right round the boots. Flanagan goes to the kick downfield. That should be fielded out there neatly by Shearer. He runs across field. Does him for pace. That's young Ashton. It's a good run. Don't spoil it now by trying to get the pass away when you're surrounded. That was a good diagonal run. He's made about 20 metres, but ran about 40 metres to do it. Up the blind side they come. Alexander away to Bella. Bella on the surge beyond the advantage line. Now these other forwards have got to start pumping it up. Davidson, the switch of play through to Daly. Daly goes right through the middle of the ruck. That's good ruck play by Australia. They're standing deep. They're taking it hard and straight and getting the Oldham side on the back move. Elias. Alexander, cut out pass to Lamb. Out she goes. Then on to Meninga. Meninga wraps it around with Chris Mortimer. Out there to Shearer. Shearer gets a pass away. The crowd called for forward. It wasn't. The referee didn't see it that way. Shearer gets a push in the face, drives him backwards. Dale Shearer away there to Davidson. Now he gets a one-handed pass out to Alexander. Acceleration away to Belcher. Belcher after O'Connor. O'Connor up the sideline. Looks inside. Gets it to Lamb. And Lamb's in for the first Australian try. Brilliant football there by the Australians. And now we've got a fracas going, or a push and shove going on back in the middle of the field. Let's hope this referee doesn't do a similar situation to what transpired on the last occasion they played at night, where he disallowed 2 tries. Here's the replay of the action. Mortimer got it to Shearer. Shearer got it to Folkes. Folkes went forward, got it away to Davidson. A lovely one-handed pass to Alexander. Then came the good pass from Alexander out to Belcher. Clapped on the pace. Michael O'Connor put on the outside of defence. Bruiser Clark coming across in cover. Steps, looks for Lamb. And who else would you expect to see on the backup? It has to be one of the greatest support players of the last 25 years, Terry Lamb. 10th try, I believe. No, 11th try in something like 5 games. Astonishing. Graham Hughes. This Terry Lamb just goes on and on like old man River scoring tries.
As they call them over here, they call them sniffers. We've used it before. He's a remarkable player. He knows all shortcuts on the rugby league field. Always the man on the spot. But you want to talk about men on the spot right now. We go back to this brawl in respect of Les Davidson. He was hit late by Terry Flanagan after he unloaded the ball well to put Australia away down that left flank. Davidson then did his block, turned around, and he let some punches go, Rex, let me tell you. He let at least a dozen land on Terry Flanagan. Following that first brawl, these guys should be into the sin bin. No, lo and behold, he's let it go, and probably for the first time on tour, we're going to see an Australian try.
They've shaken hands. Oh, my God, I've seen everything. They've been forced to shake hands on a referee. I can't believe it. Fancy shaking hands with an English footballer during the hurly-burly of the action. I can't believe it. Anyway, we've got a scoreline that reads 4-2 at 6-2 at the moment, with Michael O'Connor looking fairly promising to make that 8-2. He's about 9 metres out and about 7 metres off centre. And neatly round the corner, he does extend that lead, and Australia now, after 24 minutes of play, lead by 8 points to 2. Ray Ashton to restart play for the Oldham side, who've got a very neat jumper. The red and white stripes, narrow stripes, is very effective. Looks rather like a Harlequin rugby jumper. But they look pretty good. On to Belcher from the kick-off. He's got it away to Meninga. Meninga tries to go through the middle of the St Helens three-quarter line. He does a pretty fair job of it. 2 for 20 metres, let me tell you. He takes a power of stock and does the big Mal. Elias switching play out there to Chris Mortimer. He's on the surge. Got his leg, left knee rather heavily strapped up now. Elias goes on the blind side, turns it back inside to Bella. Bella getting his act together and coming strongly through the middle of the ruck when called to do so. Now Daly's turn to take it up. Just goes to ground a little bit too easy at times, the big boy. But he's learning, and back in action after a bad shoulder injury. The kick by Lamb is not a bad one. Oh, beautifully half-volleyed by Alexander. Magnificent stuff from the young fella, displaying enormous skill, moving fast, bent down, got the ball in his hand. Meninga's gone for the kick ahead. It's just gone a touch too far. It's fielded there by the fullback, Jeff Edwards, and he's able to take the tackle there of number 9, Benny Elias, and he's tackled about 5 metres from his line. In comes another very fine tackle right round the boots by Benny Elias. They're trying to run it away from this goal line, but they're only running one out on the strong defence there of 2 of the players. Davidson and Elias was enough to put him down. They're going to move it out, are they? A little bit dangerous where they are, only about 8 metres out from the line. The score 8-2, about 26 minutes gone. On the blind side, the kick for position downfield goes straight to Belcher midfield. He's got tons of pace, this fella. He's going to take Shearer with him up the sideline. He steps 1. He's gone past 2. He gets the pass to Shearer. Shearer could go close to scoring. Gets it out to who is it? Terry Lamb. Do you believe it? Do you believe it's Terry Lamb again? That's his 11th try. I'll have to get that right statistic. I believe it's the 11th, and I think it's in 5 games. An astonishing performance by Terry Lamb again. Now, how in the name of God could he know that the play was going to go to the right there? Most players would have backed up on the inside. It's interesting to have a look for Terry Lamb, if you like, at this stage. If we got a shot, there he is, trailing on the inside, and somehow he assesses the play going on the outside. Watch him go across now and cross Dale Shearer and call for it. Astonishing performance. He's got radar vision. All right, so there's the scoreline. It's looking a lot more respectable now. 12-2, 27 minutes gone. The floodgates have temporarily opened. And Michael O'Connor. And do I detect, John Maris, just a touch of fog coming down here? Oh, heavens, that'll be nice. Michael O'Connor from the sideline. Got the height. Has it got the distance? It's a magnificent goal from the sideline. Michael O'Connor coming up with a gem. Australia 14, Oldham 2. And a player of great interest to a lot of Sydney fans, Australian fans, will be a player that should have been playing tonight but sustained an injury. You'll introduce him, Graham.
Thanks, Rex. Yeah, Gary Bridge, well known to the Sydney viewers. Gary, it's what, a dislocated shoulder, I believe.
Yeah, dislocation of the shoulder, Graham, and hopefully it's only about 2 or 3 weeks.
How are you enjoying your stint in England?
Oh, I love it. It's good. The people here at Oldham are fantastic. You know, they treat me as one of the boys, and Coach Frank Miller's a genuinely great bloke, and I love it.
Rather eventful start to this game.
Very eventful start. Yeah, they're a young second string Australian side. We thought we might be able to put a bit of biff in and unsettle them, but they stuck to their guns well, and they've come out on top so far.
It's not the smallest pack in England, this Oldham pack.
No, it's good to be playing behind it because it commands plenty of respect, and you know, they're tough. They'll mix it.
Great to speak to you, Gaz, and of course Benny Elias over here on the tour, and must be strongly pressing now, of course, for the selection in the test teams.
Yeah, Benny's a great player. Apparently Royce has been playing well. I watched the first test and he's been playing well, and Benny's been playing well in the other games. So it's do or die, I suppose. But you know, whichever one gets it, they deserve it.
Good luck with the rest of your stint in England.
Thanks very much, Graham.
Gary Bridge, one of the very well-performed first-grade footballers in Sydney, playing over here with Oldham. Unfortunately, out tonight, as Graham Hughes told you, with a dislocated shoulder. Now, Benny Elias received a bit of a heavy serve in that tackle, quite legitimately. It's gone back to Meninga. Elias is okay. Edwards feels that ball. Oh, he drops another one. Good spare me days. He's not a fullback's bootlace, this fella. That's the second one he's put down under no pressure at all. You know, if you've got a man playing first-grade football, you do expect him under no pressure to catch the ball. Doesn't matter if it comes a touch low. And that is just horrendous. Now the scrum going in and out. But the referee's evened that one up with the penalty count moves along to 7-3 in Oldham's favour, and that was against a crooked feed, according to Mr. Kevin Allett. They've taken a tap block kick for touch. That is a blunder in my view. Got to take the acreage when it's on offer. Bruiser Clark met with TLC by the boys from Australia. He gets up smiling every time, though, Bruiser. Never a crossword. He's always having a bit of chat with people, does a bit of clawing around. Good run diagonally there, but it's no good unless you go straight and hard against this defence. Mick Worrell there trying to weave his way around. Daly over the top of him. Benny Elias going for a bit of a push and shove there. The referee has awarded another penalty, and that penalty count now moves on to 8-3. The scoreline, however, is 14-2 in Australia's favour. The kick from Ashton over the sideline directly in front of our commentary position. I'm right beside that camera that you're seeing this picture from. The cutout pass goes out to Ashton. Then away to Topless. He's a bit of a distributor these days, not running very much. Bruiser Clark going up the blind side, gets a bit of a serve. Then Elias leaps on him. The ball's been knocked back and knocked on. And the referee says it came off the legs. I'm inclined not to agree with that, but I'll take it. There was about a Oldham player offside who's been pinged. Flanagan was standing 2 metres on the Australian side of the ruck and made a tackle. Paul Langmack having a bit of a yap with Benny Elias there. We just temporarily lost picture on our monitor here. I don't know whether we've got a TD in attendance, but we will notify our director, Alan Capp, when that monitor picture comes back. Presently, we've got Meninga getting it away to Belcher. Belcher trying to chime into the attack. We've got a picture back right now. It's on the halfway line. The game has quietened down considerably. Away to Langmack through the middle of the ruck, but he's picked off in strong defence from Neil Clawson to his feet on the halfway line. Elias swivels away to Bella. Bella gets a good one away. Can he get a pass? He nearly had the right hand free to get to O'Connor, who was flying up the right. Elias, Alexander, Lamb. Chris Mortimer drops the pass, picked up there by Neil Clawson. He's tackled straight away by Liz Davidson. And it's Clark out on the blind side of the ruck, standing shallow and flat, and decides to run himself without giving the pass. Flanagan at dummy half. They're only about 15 metres out in the Australian quarter. 14-2. The score, Australia's way. And there's little Ashton running through the middle of the ruck there. Makes a good inroad too. Flanagan drops the football. It's knocked on. It'll be a scrum to go down. About 33 minutes gone by our unofficial time. Pretty ordinary performance by Oldham. They're putting the ball down with monotonous regularity. And the little half gets the standing offside. It's run away to Des. Foy goes straight and hard. I thought their halfback Ashton was offside there. Obviously no retirement required. Long pass out to Topless. Topless gets a pass then on to Gary Warneke. He's gone for a long kick through, and he had support on the outside. I don't know what went on in Warneke's mind on that occasion. He would have been aware that he had support. He elected to kick it. It was much too hard, went over the dead ball line. I think they're running out of footballs here. There's 3 gone over the, actually out of the ground since the game started. Now we've got one in. It's a tap restart. Elias onto Daly. Daly goes hard and tries to do the swivel. That's not bad tactics. The Ray Price invented swivel. Onto Bella. Bella's through the first tackle again. Playing strongly, this fella. Really wants to play for Australia in a test match. Back to Belcher. He's belted it hard downfield. It's going to go to Hussein Mbaki. Hussein is a Moroccan. Hussein's just a little bit quick, they tell me, but he hasn't had the opportunity to show his wares tonight. Good to see other races playing the game, other nationalities. All on their own side of halfway. Ashton. Oh, total lack of reflexes there by Colin Hawkyard. Had the pass given to him. Now there's a penalty to Australia for interference. Bruiser Clark having a fair bit to say, but the referee is adamant. Now Michael O'Connor being called up, but Meninga will take the kick for touch. And that gives Australia opportunity with 6 tackles about 23 metres out from the line. Here they go. Let's see how they go. Alexander onto Lamb. There's Bella standing wide. He's got right through, tearing his way forward, just can't keep his balance. He made a good 18-metre incisive burst there, showing a lot of strength. Out to Alexander. The run around with Lamb. Got a pass nicely out to Langmack, and he was decked hard. It was Topless there who put him down. Alexander on the swivel there, coming around the blind side of the ruck. Stephen Folkes, he was picked off ever so sweetly. Lamb. Long cutout pass out to Belcher. Belcher to Meninga. Meninga to Shearer. Shearer up the sideline. In and away. Can he do it? It's good defence coming to him. Taken down only about half a metre out from the line. Player there taking a power of time to get off him. It's Flanagan, the hooker. He got over well in cover. Shearer having a job to get himself free just to play the football. Onto Meninga. Onto Alexander. Alexander throwing dummies left, right and centre. Trying to get through there, but the defence just stuck to him. He's still being handled. Away to Elias. Bella. Davidson. Couldn't get a pass away. Yes, he did. He tried to get the pass away, and it was stolen from him by David Topless, the old Trudy. Trying desperately to work the ball away from their goal line here. 14-2. And now Bruiser Clark coming on the open side of the ruck, running without much purpose, running just to make ground and not running for support. Australia being waved back out of the 5. Neil Clawson coming through strongly. Big, strong fellow. Never seems to look to pass the football. There's a grubber kick being put down by Michael O'Connor, who protects it for Belcher and goes round on the open side. Belcher gets it to O'Connor. Nice backing up. Steps and comes through the middle. I thought he could have been better advised to offload that to the right. Bella onto Daly. Daly going strongly, looking for support. Can't get the arms free at the last minute, but it's a good run up the middle. Trying to get to his feet. On to Stephen Folkes. The pass went across Bella. There are a number of moves the Australians work in these situations. Now, from Elias out to Alexander. They're using the backs out to Lamb. On to Meninga. Meninga holds the tackle, holds the ball, takes the tackle, brushes it aside. Got it to Shearer. Shearer's up the sideline. Oh! Pass came in low there to Langmack. And you know who was on the inside of Langmack, don't you? Terry Lamb. Waiting to score number 3. 38 minutes gone. Langmack really can't be criticised for knocking that one on. It came in low and well in front of him. There's been one scrum win against the feed. I think it was to Oldham. Now there's a penalty differential going to the Oldham side. And I don't know quite what that signal means. That it's a wagging of the elbow as if the players on the Australian side in the front row are coming up underneath. Well, that's a different signal to the loose arm they used to portray here in England. But anyway, I'll take Graham's advice on that one. All right. This player always runs blindly. Clawson hasn't offered the football to a support in the opening stanza, and he's handled the ball plenty. Flanagan at dummy half. Through the middle of the ruck. Attempting to come there was Worrell. 5 metres from halfway. Oldham just running out of ideas. Their main method of going forward is a kick and chase. Topless weaves his way through. 2 defenders, 3. Going strongly, and it's a nice run. There you are. Just as you say something, somebody pulls up a good run. But he is an international of some stature. And it's going to be a penalty, and it's against Phil Darley for failure to get off the tackled player. It'll give Oldham the opportunity to keep the touch with perhaps a half a minute to go to half-time. 10-5, that penalty count. Horrendous. Failed to find touch. And that is a hanging offence in any man's rugby league match. Shearer gets a long floating pass to Lamb. It's opening up here. Out to Alexander, runs around his man, gets a pass back on the inside to O'Connor. O'Connor looking for support, throws a dummy, can't get a pass away. A net loss there of about 3 metres to the Australian side. Belcher at dummy half. On there to Davison. Davison puts it down. It goes through the legs of the Oldham player, and no knock-on transpires. Some of the Oldham men, it really looks slow for the reflex. Oh, what a tackle there on Jeff Edwards, the fullback, trying to chime in, but he was hit hard. Very strong tackle there by Stephen Folkes. But what else do you expect from this man, Folkes? He's getting through a power of defence in this game, not been able to release himself in attack. With the elbow up from Bruiser. The big boy just learned a trick or two since he's been in England. And the world fell on him at the end of it. Keep your feet down, Bruiser. There's a good lad. Everybody loves you. Out they go along the 3-quarter line. Oldham pumping it out, but not making any progress up the field, are they? Yes, they are. Right now, Mick Worrell makes a good bust. He's looking for support. He does get the pass away to Ashton, the halfback. Ashton's taken down. It's gone away there to Warneke. Warneke back on the inside, and it's to Colin Hawkyard, and that's a splendid try. A splendid try to the Oldham side, backing up the ball carrier. They'll do it every time. Lovely stuff from the Oldham team, and do the crowd love it. And so do we watching it. We love to see good football, and that's as good a try as we've seen scored against the Australians. See the replay again. And out they pump out, and at this point I was saying they're not making any forward progress, and suddenly Worrell decides to step and weave. He left Benny Elias pointless, made the big break up the middle of the field, rushed through some defenders there, looked for support, found it in the shape there of his halfback, Ray Ashton. Ashton went through and tackled, stepped right out of it, was able to get a pass there nicely onto Warneke. Warneke stood in a tackle, got it away to Hawkyard, and Hawkyard sighted the line and galloped away and got the ball down adjacent. Good stuff from the Oldham side. Congratulations to them. 14 points to 6. Almost half-time. A kick-at goal to follow. And I think that the Australian coach will have a little bit to say about the defence on that occasion. Mick Worrell, left foot kicker. Strikes it well. So, coming up to the half-time break, 14 points to 8 in favour of the Australian side, and still a job to do, Graham Hughes.
There definitely is a job to do for these Australians. What they can't do is get carried away with this football match. They've had to contest the referee also in this first 40 minutes. They've got to cut their mistake rates down. They can't afford to make mistakes in their own half.
Okay, with those remarks, and I concur with them. I think there's just been a little bit of slackness in the Australians. When they got to 14-2, they decided that there was only going to be a cakewalk, and suddenly the defence fell away. So at the half-time break, we've got it looking this way. 14 points to 8 in Australia's favour. We've had the penalty count well and truly in favour of the Oldham side, 10-5. The scrums have gone 2-all, but one of those was against the feed to Australia. We'll be back shortly with more action in this cliffhanger. Just about ready for the...
Yes, Rex, there's, if you're checking, there's no changes to either side.
That's the word. Good lad. Well, I hope you're a little bit warmer than I am on the sideline. I tell you, about 18 feet above ground level here. It's about 6 degrees down on where you are.
I'm still working on the fingers, trying to get a bit of blood to the tips.
I gave up on the fingers. I'm working on the feet. Meninga kicks off. It's gone deep. It's gone into the end goal area. It's touched on the foot there. I can't just see who has got it at the moment. Yes, I can. It's the wing three-quarter, Paul Sherman. He's come away with a run just about 15 metres there. Good tackle right round the boot tops of Colin Hawkyard, the man that did it, Benny Elias. Bruiser Clark coming up the middle of the ruck. He runs into pretty solid defence from Martin Bella. Puts a shoulder right into him. A little bit of a knock on there, I thought, but that must be close to a turnover. This is the last tackle coming up. This referee doesn't signify. It goes back. That could have been very close to a charge down by Benny Elias, who's knocked out of the way there and hurt. But just watching Benny get to his feet there, he was run into by another older player as he went through on the charge. Australia in possession around about the halfway line. Martin Bella, who's pumped the ball up very well through the ruck, hasn't been able to offload, but making ground. He's dead set not wanting to make any of those mistakes with his passing that he made the other night. Davidson through the middle of the ruck. Got a pass away. It's nicely out to Benny Elias. A one-handed pass out to Mal Meninga. He's looking for support. Goes straight and hard through the defence. And that was a nice tackle there. A very Australian tackle, I was thinking. And, of course, it was Gary Warnocky right round the boot tops. Good stuff from the former Sydney player. Try to bring it up to the Belcher. There's a penalty. Failure to get off the tackle player. And the referee hopefully has calmed his theatrical antics of the opening 15 minutes down. Bruiser Clark was one of the players there that was being penalised. He hasn't stopped talking since the start of the game, hasn't Bruiser? Loves life, loves people. And it'll be an attempt by Michael O'Connor. About 8 metres, perhaps 10 metres outside the quarter line. And he's perhaps 20 metres or so off centre. The breeze is a little bit hard to judge from where we are. I suspect there is a slight breeze blowing, and I suspect it's favouring him slightly. Michael O'Connor, kicker of 3 goals so far. They've all been simpler than this one. This is not a long kick for a good goal kicker. He struck it and he's hooked it. It will go into the arms there of the Oldham number 3. There's Foy, and he's tackled just outside his quarter. They're locked away in that corner furthest away from us. The ball's gone to ground. Australia picks it up. Martin Bella's the man, and he's gone very close to scoring off the loose ball. He's probably about 6 inches short of that line. I'd say he can virtually get up and play the ball over the line. That's been kicked through. It must be 6 to go. Australia trying to get a decent play the ball going here. Daly played it. Disciplined fashion out to Lamb. Lamb gets it away there to Langmack. Langmack's tackled and can't get the pass away. Was slow coming into his hands. That was a good tackle moving in. Belcher moves up. Davidson's got it. He goes tearing through one tackle. He's got a pass away on several occasions. Made himself look good. Benny Elias at dummy half. Alexander, long pass out to Lamb. Lamb gets a pass away to Mortimer. Mortimer to Belcher. Belcher chimes in and is knocked over there by the winger, Paul Sherman, who came in and did an effective job on him. They're only going side to side at the moment. Stephen Folkes up the blind side. Strong Finn, but put down. Last tackle coming up now for the Australian side. On to Meninga. Little kick over the top. This should go straight to him. And he's well fielded that, even though he was stopped in his tracks and unable to get himself motivated. But with a marker standing there, has played the ball forward. I don't know how Hussein Mbaki wasn't penalised, but now he's been apparently put down, and Langmack's the man that's done it. And there's a penalty gone to the Oldham side. Astonishing there. He had a marker directly in front of him, still played the ball forward. In our book, that's playing the ball, handling the ball in a ruck in Verboten. Mick Worrell goes for the long kick, takes it up to the quarter line. Now Oldham, they trail 14-8. This is the closest a lot of sides have been to Australia at half-time. Only a 6-point trail. Bruiser Clark running without intention of passing the football. He looks best when he's trying to distribute it. Flanagan away there to Topless, had one very fine run in the first half, jinking, sidestepping run. Vintage David Topless. And effective defence there from Benny up very, very quickly. Benny Elias. Flanagan. There's a kick gone downfield, it'll skate. It's gone to Shearer. Shearer touches it with his foot. Through comes Jeff Edwards, the fullback. Shearer dummies him, beats the first tackle. Takes it over the quarter. Gets a bit of a headlock put on him there by Des Foy. Now it's on to Belcher, the fullback, and he's chimed in. Lovely athlete, this fella. A beautiful strider. A delight to watch in the open. Phil Daly running as a decoy. Gets it to Davidson now. It's going to be a Shepherd, according to the referee. There's just a little bit too much smart stuff going on in the Australian ruck at the moment. Benny's just dispensing the ball in there, some of their moves in such a way that players look as though they're shepherding each other, and Daly, well, he didn't cross behind him exactly, but he did enough to earn the referee's ire for a shepherd. Or, as they say in England, kicker. The kick is 12 metres out from the quarter, about 15 metres off centre. He's a left foot round the corner kicker. 14-8 the score to Australia. That looked a bit weak, didn't seem as though he wanted to hit that very hard. Chris Mortimer evades 1, 2. That's a powerful run. That's a bit of very good stuff from Chris Mortimer. On to Daly. Daly running with a little bit of a jink there. Gets a pass away nicely to Benny Elias. Benny had support out there, elected to take the tackle. He's taken it over the quarter line. Langmack at dummy half. Folks straightens it up. Still going. That player there who, Hawkyard, who attempted to pick him up and put him down, would find that he is a lot stronger a player than many people would suspect. Folks is not tall, but enormously powerful around the chest and arms. Penalty gone to Australia. Hawkyard stealing the ball. About 8 minutes gone in the second half. And Don Furner must be just gritting his teeth a little bit. There's Daly coming straight through the middle of the ruck. Good strong run. They need quick play the balls. Elias throws the dummy. Runs nicely from dummy half. That's good stuff. Get him behind him. And get that defence turned around. Gets up and plays it forward, as he's entitled to do. Makes another inroad. He's done his job. Out to Alexander. Now to Davidson. Davidson trying to stream his way through. And there was Langmack running on his shoulder. Alexander at dummy half. Out to Lamb. Lamb throws a pass to Belcher. Belcher to Meninga. Meninga to O'Connor. A magnificently pulled in pass, but the referee, well, I'm not going to argue it, looked at touch forward. Did look at touch forward. But that was magnificently pulled in by Michael O'Connor. Absolutely astonishing handling. Watch it again. Worth the price of admission, almost alone. This one now from Meninga. The pass went forward, and look at that. From 1 metre behind him, he pulled that in one-handed. Quality play. Scrum 10 metres outside Oldham's quarter. In and out. Was never the halfback never retired, so he's been penalised. Astonishing flow of penalties coming to Australia now, 2 in a row. That's 13-8 in favour of the Oldham side in the penalty situation. Now Meninga. Lofty punt up the sideline. Another ball got out of the ground. Kids around here must have a field day. Martin Villa goes from the tap and surges straight and hard. He's had a strong game. Probably his most powerful game of the tour so far. Elias on the switch out to Meninga. Meninga out to O'Connor. And what's that going to be called? A Shepherd? Well, again, the moves just not being worked to the referee's satisfaction. The referee has deduced that there was another obstruction in that move. They do run decoys. Decoys being players who run as though they look to get the ball but don't get it. And they're the ones that are doing the transgressions at the moment. Come on, Oldham, the crowd start to chant. 14-8. From the tap restart, they're about 5 metres outside the quarter. Trying to get a dummy half. Gets it on to Clark. Clark comes in for some heavy stuff there. Legitimate but heavy. Flanagan again. Stuart Raper. Showing a good ability to plough forward in heavy traffic. Flanagan going for the kick that's been charged down. It's rebounded and we should be 6 to go. Strong head-on defence there by Phil Daly. Here's Bruiser Clark again. Running with great power, pushes Benny Elias off. It's a long floating pass gone out to Warneke. Warneke gets it back at the inside, it's lost. The referee going to penalise. The touch judges come in. They will claim that the player was tackled without the ball. That may well have been the case. Holding, pushing, and Des Foy was held without the ball on the inside. Well, this kick just a little bit too far. A little bit of a breeze sprung up. Now Oldham, for the first time this half, in Australian territory. Flanagan the man to restart. They're 10 metres outside the quarter. Hawkyard running on the open side of the ruck. Again, Flanagan. Out to Topless. Topless steps, straightens through the middle. Bella's there to meet him. Good solid defence. Enveloping. Flanagan. Stuart Raper. Tackled on the quarter. Very stocky figure. There's another penalty against Australia. Directly in front. For failure to get off the tackle player. And they really do have to watch this. They're conceding, one would think, some dumb penalties that don't need to be conceded. Now it's Mick Worrell. Now, last time he attempted a goal, he seemed to try to steer the ball as if he didn't want to punch it too hard. Now, he's a lot closer this time. The last one fell way short. And it was running about 30 metres out. Now, this can put them to 14-10. It's 14-8 at the moment. Even allowing for a difficult referee, this has been a substandard performance by the Australian side. Worrell steers that, and there they go. Well, now Australia are in what can only be considered the Z zone. 14-10 is the scoreline. We've had 13 minutes of play. Now, is this going to be the game that could mar the Kangaroos' record in 1986? The kick has gone deep. It's been fielded nicely by Hussein Mbaki, the Moroccan winger, who's made a bust right up the middle of the field through St. Paul's defence. He's gone for the kick ahead. It's a race now. Mal Meninga should get there. And it's now, I think it's got Alexander who's made the sprint, and he's been injured in the tackle. Hussein is the man who did that very fine break. I think worthy of a watch again, because that's the longest break I've seen made against this Australian side since I've been here. Alexander having a little bit of a problem. Seemed he may have copped an accidental knee in the back, but he fell on the ball. Now this was Hussein Mbaki from Morocco. A good step. And that reason for that busting of the tackle from Michael O'Connor was that O'Connor went in without arms, just trying to use a shoulder charge. The effective kick ahead, Belcher half got in his way, but we're back to the action now as we see Alexander go down on the ball. And this is live action now. Australia back in their quarter. They're going to play it away from here. Meninga gets the kick downfield. It's gone on the bounce to Hussein Mbaki. He doesn't make the break this time. Strong defence there, Terry Lamb. Ashton, the little halfback, going underneath a cuffing, slightly high tackle from Dale Shearer. Flanagan. Warneke busts a tackle. The referee, Mr. R.L.F., being asked by the crowd to get him back. Clark using the blind side as often as he can. Flanagan out to Ashton. That'll be a good kick. Over the sideline, a gain of about 20 metres. Back come the Oldham side. And Australia really have their work cut out now. Graham Hughes.
They certainly have, Rex. What they've got to do, they've got to stay with those kicking tactics. Too often in the last 10, 15 minutes of the first half and the start of this second half, they've been coming up with mistakes in their own line. What they've got to do is continue with that kicking game, and these penalties, of course, which are now starting to turn their way, certainly start to help. I'd like to see the forwards try and control the ball a little bit better, hang on to it in the rucks, just work it away for 2 or 3, set up either the open or the blind side, and use the pace out wide. A replacement also being made for Oldham here from the sideline, Rex. Tom Nadioli in 15, and the man they're calling back out is Neil Clawson.
Good one, Graham. Just got a wave from Bruiser Clark there. He looked up in the commentary position and gave us a bit of a wave. Now Phil Daly there on there onto Bella. And Bella comes steaming through the ruck. Had a wholehearted game, has Bella. Used every ounce of his 16.5 stone. Lamb with the kicking tactics. That's straight down the field. That's going to call on Hussein Mbaki to bring it back. He's in goal there. He's knocked on. It's going to be a try, is it? Alexander, oh, dive for it and couldn't get a hand to it, but it's going to be a line dropout. Very near thing. Young Greg Alexander there went striking across there and put on that acceleration and very nearly got round the front of Mbaki. Watch it again. Mbaki adopting a fullback role at the moment, made a meal of this. Actually kicks the ball with his foot, I think you'll see, as he tries to pick it up. There he does. And it was kicked away, way in front of him. And it took a long sprint to just get his feet ahead and stop Alexander scoring the try. Got the replacement player on, Tom Nadioli, the Fijian's on, and I think it's Neil Clawson who's come from the field, number 10. Okay, Shearer through the middle of the ruck. He can't get a pass away. He's evaded the tackle again. Well, broken it. He's still not put to the ground. Now he's finally decked. If they'd go low, they'd do it a lot simpler. They're all groping around the jumper and... Well, the Australian team all standing in a bunch at the moment as Bella comes on the open side. There's not a player out here on the open side of the ruck. Very slow to the position themselves. Sorry, Graham. Okay, intercept being taken. Up over the halfway line came the replacement. Came Foy, the centre. He showed a clean pair of heels. Australia starting to make mistakes that are being jumped on. There's a long overlap. If they move the ball wide, there's an overlap out there if they move it. There it is. It's gone out to Hussein Mbaki, the Moroccan, but he comes back on the inside. He still had support. He tries to make an inroad up the middle, but finally the defensive Daly puts him down. Ashton, Flanagan, topless. And he's decked to the ground about 8 metres out from the halfway line. Flanagan dispensing the ball well onto Bruiser Clark. Now it's on to Tommy Nadioli, the replacement, who gets a loud round of applause for his first touch of the ball. Warnocky running on the open side, sells a dump there. That was an orthopaedic pass, that one. The defender Langmack showed no mercy at the start of that. Little kick there being put through by Ashton, and the penalty will be awarded. I think he's okay. He gets up smiling. Warnocky's after him. Are you okay? And he looked up and smiled and said, yes, okay. So this is going to make it very interesting. This is going to make the score, if it's successful, 14-12. And they've got to play more disciplined football. As I've mentioned, it has been, in my opinion, a substandard performance by an Australian team, not aided by a very early refereeing performance that had left a lot to be desired. The refereeing in the first half was inexplicable. The penalty count at the moment is 17-9, which is horrendous enough. But Australia, it must be said, are contributing to their own downfall with a number of very dumb errors. Mick Worrell only 18 metres out, almost directly in front. The crowd will erupt. This goes over. It's over. 14 points to 12. We're at the halfway mark in the second half of this game at Oldham. Don't leave your sets. This could be the upset a lot of people have been expecting. And as we take the kick-off, a former great international joined Graham Hughes.
Bobby McCarthy, English Rugby League coming alive here at Oldham.
Yeah, it's good to see a decent clash for a change, Graham. The Oldham side are really putting it to the Aussies, and now in a bit of strife that last penalty goal.
What do you think about this Australian performance?
Well, I watched them play 4 games now, and the forwards play all right individually, Graham, but they don't work as a team together. They don't really support each other. And, I think until they start supporting each other, they'll do it a bit tough against these good defensive sides.
So what are you looking for now the crunch is on in these last 10-15 minutes?
Well, I think they just got to spread the ball a bit, just use their forwards more and support each other. They've got the matchwinners out wide if they can just create a bit of space for them.
OK, Bob. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Graham.
And with that, we've seen a magnificent run from Gary Belcher, who weaved his way 30 metres through the ruck and takes play up towards the quarter line. It's still Australia, and I couldn't agree more with McCarthy's remarks there about working with each other. Some of the players have been running one out. Davidson there charging straight ahead with no ever obvious intention of ever trying to offload the football. They move it to the backs, and Bella standing out there. He has looked on a few occasions, but still hasn't been able to get a pass away. They've got to look for support. They've got to run with the intention. There's Benny Elias running from dummy half. He'll score a try. It's a good try for the Australian captain. Benny Elias has come up with one of those Elias specials, and that might just take the guilt off the gingerbread as far as the Oldham side's concerned. That takes it on to 18 points to 12. Kick and goal to follow. Watch little Benny as he trails his way through, though without a hand laid upon him. Who's seen him? Barkey was not there. Wernicke arrived late, and nobody else appeared interested in the tackle. And that is a tragedy for their coach, Frank Myler, because his team has done so well. With a lot of assistance, it must be said, but they've done well. They've sustained the pressure, and they've kept themselves in the game by dint of some strong defence and forcing the Australian team into error. Michael O'Connor, 5 metres short at the quarter line, about 18 metres in from the sideline. A relatively simple kick for this man who's acquired and accumulated an impressive record of goal kicking for Australia and New South Wales and his home club St George. O'Connor. He's hooked it again, trying for a little bit too much power. So the score remains 18-12 Australia. Ray Ashton to restart the play for the Oldham side. And for Langmack. Langmack's just inside his quarter. Comes through. Falls full length as the tackle makes effect. Onto Elias. He runs from dummy half. Makes a good inroad. It's another sprint from him. And can Davidson go? We'll see just how fast he can sprint. It's a good run. But he's taken from behind by Gary Wernicke with a fine tackle. And Wernicke, he's pulled off some good ones of those. Now Elias again from dummy half and very nearly slips his way through. He seems to have livened up the Australian side no end. Out to Bella on the open side. Looks for support. Can't get a pass away, and that's what they must do. He had Phil Darley on the outside. Darley was obviously calling for it, but didn't get it. Lamb away to Meninga, back to Lamb. The runaround move, tries to duck his way through. And now it's Langmack at dummy half. They're only 20 metres out. He's gone for a drop and goal. That's a silly thing to do. They still have 2 tackles to go. I think Langmack's had a brain explosion. Gee whiz. 18 points to 12. Stuart Raver coming away and being belted hard on the tackle. Out there, a long pass to Flanagan, the hooker, who does display a little bit more in the way of skill than your average hooker. Benny Elias accepted, and Roy Simmons accepted. Hussein Mbaki, the Moroccan winger. Bruiser Clark got a pass back on the inside. It's gone to Wernicke. He's on the fly. There's Greg Alexander with a top pass. The ball was put down. It's fallen on there by Stephen Folkes. And Folkes gets up and plays it just outside the Australian quarter onto Elias, then to Chris Mortimer. Good cover there by young Alexander. Fine tackle. Elias away to Terry Lamb. Lamb away to Shearer. Shearer on the surge, looking for possession tonight. Trying to get the pass away, but he couldn't do that. Strong defence. Lamb now sticking to the pattern that's obviously been asked for by Furner. The kick downfield. Here's Belcher to help him in the way, and oh yes, and very quickly wraps up Jeff Edwards, the fullback who fielded it, but was made look ponderous and slow by Belcher. Hussein Mbaki had that one long run, and then the wheel fell off. Flanagan throws the dummy, makes a good inroad, got some skills, gets the pass away. That's the sort of football we require from some of the forwards in the Australian team. Colin Hawkyard getting a bit of a workout in that tackle. Cut-out passes coming. No, he can't get it away on that occasion. That was Stuart Raper, and he did well to hold that tackle, hold that pass. Warnocky onto Flanagan. He's gone for a little kick through. There's a chase on. It's been kicked again by Flanagan. Goes to Belcher. Belcher will have the pace to go around him. He does. He's got support on the outside. But there's good defence coming over there by Warnocky, who's pulled off some fine tackles in this match. 18 points to 12 Australia. Folks on the open side. Elias, Alexander, Davidson, one-handed pop pass to Shearer. Almost an involuntary tackle there. Seems to have lost his shoe. No, what has he done? He can't get to his feet to play it. Seems to have hurt an ankle. I thought his shoe had come off, but that was what the problem was. But he appears to have copped something down low in the tackle. 27 minutes of this second half having gone. Yes, we'll be doing our 3-2-1 points awards at the end of this and every game on the Kangaroo Tour for the National Panasonic. And, of course, the wonderful prize of $5,000 worth of National Panasonic goods will go to the recipient. And Graham, of course, you'll inform the viewers of what they've got to do.
Well, the viewers haven't been left out either, Rex. Of course, if they can help us to nominate that player of the tour, what they should do is write their name and address, as well as the name of the player they think will be nominated as the National Panasonic Player of the Tour, on the back of an envelope and send it to P.O. Box 222, North Ryde 2113. And those entries have to be in by the close of mail, 21st of November. The winner to be drawn, the first correct entry out, drawn by David Fordham on our final telecast on the 23rd of November, which in fact is the third test, will win themselves a complete home entertainment centre from those great sponsors, National Panasonic.
OK, we've got Flanagan, a dummy half, getting it away to Big Bruiser Clark. And it must be said that the Oldham pack, while they've not posed an enormous threat to Australia, have at least on frequent occasions interchanged passes with each other, which is something that I love to see and something that makes the game much more effective. Belcher falls, gets it to Shearer. Shearer's wrapped up in a good tackle. Fights himself forward another metre, and the tackle. Belcher at dummy half out to Folks. And Australia taking a long while to regroup. Some of these players going round for the first time for a while. Instance Folks and Daly, who very nearly dropped that ball then and did well to hold it. It must be taken into consideration that several of the players would be a little bit short of great match practice. Almost a couple of throw on that occasion on Martin Bella. Benny Elias through the dummy nicely. He's got a kick downfield. Hussein Mbaki, he's going to try to get to it. Takes it beautifully. He's got a bit of quality, this player. Oh, and he can't take the head-on tackle there. That was a good one from Chris Mortimer, the old pro. Australia containing them with these kicks, at least at the non-dangerous end of the field. Flanagan from dummy half runs. Can't get a pass away. 18 points to 12, time ticking away. This has been a very strong, progressive performance by Oldham. And, oh, Flanagan dropped the ball, but dropped it backwards. Ashton holding the pass up, getting it onto Hawkyard. Graham Hughes, you've got news?
Paul Sirenen warming up, moving to the sideline now. The number 10 being taken out. Mr. Bella is the one to come off.
There's an intercept being taken by Benny Elias, looking for support. Nobody backing him up on the inside. He had support on the outside. I think we're going to have a penalty being awarded here against Oldham. Failure to get away from the tackle player. And that'll give the opportunity, I think, for Paul Sirinen to come on the field and Martin Bella to go off. Well, Bella has had a strong game and will still be in contention for one of the points in the Panasonic Award. The kick at goal by Michael O'Connor from 2 metres outside the quarter. He's perhaps 20 metres off centre. He's missed his last 2. And that doesn't look as though it's going anywhere either. That was a pretty frightful kick, as a matter of fact. And that scoreline stays in the Z zone with 9 minutes to go. 18-12 Australia lead. Not an easy game to give a award in. Belcher fielded that ball nicely. He's run well on several occasions. Graham, you got Martin Bella there. How's he? He had a pretty strong game, I thought, taking the ball up to the opposition consistently well.
I agree with you, Rex. Martin, the first real test of pressure for Australia on tour.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble from the start. The first scrum, I think, was a setup. As a call went as soon as scrum went down, they got into us. And unfortunately enough, the referee, they didn't have the sense or didn't have the eyes to see that they'd started it and sent 2 of us off, which made it very hard from the start. But they're a grafting sort of a side, and they make it very, very difficult to get a roll on.
All right, thanks, Martin, and good luck for possible selection on the weekend.
Thanks very much.
As Mal Meninga comes up with a kick through, this is making it awkward there for Edwards. He had to run backwards to take that, but took it well. And now the referee has blown his whistle. A little knock-on, I think, was seen. And there'll be a scrum to go down, presumably with an Australian feed. Now, this is a great opportunity with the Australian put in for them to be able to sustain some pressure within range. But they won't do it by running blindly into the opposition. The forwards have got to start looking for each other. There's Alexander come up with it up to the blind side. It's a try, astonishing try, a really astonishing try, because there was no try on. He was very nearly knocked off by an offside halfback on the opposition team. And that will make the game safe, one would think. That takes them on to 22 points to 12. And Michael O'Connor with a very difficult kick from the sideline. But there's the replay of it. There was no try on. I mean, that halfback Ashton should be burnt at the stake for missing that tackle. He should be hung in effigy from the older goalposts. It was a frightful attempt at a tackle, one you would slap a small boy over the backside for, were he a J-grader, and say that's not the way to go about it, son. But let's not take anything in the way of credit away from Alexander, who showed blinding speed to do it. Mal Meninga from the sidelines, struck it nicely, but it's just away to the left. The score remains 22-12, Australia. Australia lead. About 5 minutes to go, perhaps. Hussein Mbaki offloads a pass, look, touch forward. The referee says no. Up the sideline comes the fullback come winger, Jeff Edwards, and he's pushed over the sideline and injured in the process. He's been shifted from that fullback role for dispensing with a couple of balls that were kicked to him without any pressure coming to him. Bruiser having plenty to say. One of those guys that enjoys every minute of life is Big Bruiser. He hasn't stopped chatting away to his own teammates or the opposition. I think he might be slightly larger than a size 38 at the moment around the waist too. I think he's got plenty of Yorkshire put in there. Now Alexander with this scrum. That's an awful looking scrum. The referee says we will have it again, and who will argue? In and out, and it's going to be a scrum against the feed to the Oldham side. Flanagan coming up with a couple against the head today. Is it 3? 18-10, the penalty count against Australia. 2 against the feed. Flanagan on the tap restart. Hussein Mbaki comes straight and hard. Just went over the top of the folks' tackle. Daly was there to soften it up. Hawkyard running score of a try. Their only try. And a good one it was on a Clark. Lovely tackle around the legs, Sirenen. Coming into the last stages of the game now. Run around move with Flanagan on then to little Ray Ashton. A good sweeping run and the pass has gone to ground. It's hit Belcher on the shoulder and it will be knocked on. It should be an Australian feed. Good break there. Ashton making up rather for his awful defence on the occasion of Alexander. Here's the run around. Went right between two of them. And only Raper's inability to pull in a fairly difficult pass. There's another scrum win against the feed. That's three. Both the hookers having trouble in the last two games. Hussein Mbaki. Mortimer the tackler. They're up just outside the Australian quarter. Another run around move. Good solid defence there comes in from Sirenen. Sherman was the man that fitted. Flanagan had a fair game. Flanagan played some good football. I suspect he may have been a back at another stage in his career. Ashton trying to weave his way underneath. He's a little short guy. They're on the quarter line, Australia's end. Flanagan turns it back into Bruiser. Then on to Warnocky, the other Australian. Last tackle. What are the tactics? There's Stuart Raver with a high Gary Owen. Beautifully taken by Belcher. He evades one tackle, two, and the third one gets him down about 10 metres short of the quarter line. He's played some spectacular football tonight, Belcher. Right down to the Z zone now. We suspect only perhaps 2 minutes to go. Daly. Another try to Australia would put the guilt on the gingerbread. But they're at the wrong end of the field for that at the moment. Sirenen. Up to the quarter line. Some of the Australian players just showing signs of wear and tear. A little bit of a knock on there. That's a careless bit of work for the dummy half. And all the steam coming off the players and that freezing cold air being inhaled into the lungs, let me tell you, is a painful experience. Last two scrums have gone against the feed against the Australian feed. Let's see if they can do better with an English feed. No way. After Topless, the runner move. Oh, and Big Mal comes along and bowls him over legitimately and knocks him backwards about 4 metres. Warnocky away there to Ashton. And there Warnocky chiming in again. He's played a very spirited game today, or this evening. Flanagan. Walker. Clark, rather. And again, Flanagan, the maestro at dummy half, gets a pass away to Ashton. Topless throws the dummy, tries to straighten. Got a forward pass into Raper. Raper's on the sprint. There's a little kick being put through. It's a chase. This could be another try to Oldham. It is. And Raper responsible for it with a very nice little grubber kick put through there out wide. 22 points to 16. And just about time run out, and I think this Australian side will probably be fairly happy when the bell rings. We're watching the try again, and you'll watch Stuart Raper with a delicately composed little kick put in here. The pass from Topless appeared to me to be marginally forward. Here comes the grubber kick. The defence arrived a fraction late. Belcher had come and committed himself. Michael O'Connor tried desperately to get to it. And it is Des Boy, the other centre, who's come up with a try. 22 points to 16. This will be spoken about at great interest in the press by the English contingent of press here. A kick at goal. The time very close to being up. McLaurel from out on the sideline, left footer. He hasn't got the power for that one. It's going to fall short. And that is the end of the section. The crowd come well and truly onto the field. The kids come to greet their heroes. Warnocky races up to shake hands.